Turning back to that breaking news out of Chicago, Customs and Border Protection says agents were shot at while conducting an immigration enforcement operation earlier today. Cameras from our Fox affiliate were there in the aftermath of the shooting. That's the video currently on your screen. There have been weeks of tension in Chicago over the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration, amid a legal battle over whether the White House can send the National Guard there. Former acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey is with us. Jonathan, so a black Jeep apparently speeds by a bunch of ICE officers. Shots are fired and the Jeep speeds off. What's your reaction?
You know, I want to say it would be shocking or something else, but I feel like with all of this rhetoric and all this what's been going on in the last several months with this rhetoric, political rhetoric directed at ICE agents, directed at CBP, it's not surprising that the level of violence against them has risen. And something like this, and even something worse than this, are bound to happen because of the rhetoric. And the unfortunate thing is these ICE agents are simply doing a job that they're required to do. And these politicians are, elevating themselves, their status within the Democratic Party by essentially tacitly supporting this type of activity.
It's a wonder, frankly, that nobody was hurt. ICE agents had to call in local police. Are they allowed or are they not allowed to actually, enforce local law and maybe fire back in a situation like this?
Well, they're certainly allowed to defend themselves and also to arrest somebody doing that, because that would be a federal law violation as well. But it just gets so complicated because you have the locality, of Chicago and Illinois as a whole that are basically fighting against, the governments are fighting against the federal government at every step of the way. So they're really not getting the support that they need. And even the local police probably want to support them, but they're not getting the support from their upper level. So it really is just a bad situation. And again, these agents that are out there, these are moms and dads, brothers, sisters, neighbors of so many people, and they're putting their lives on the line, and they're in fact doing what they're supposed to do. And these politicians, it goes so far beyond irresponsible political rhetoric, what's been going on. And it's sad that we're going to have to be either today or down the road on one of these shows talking about some horrible tragedy that in many respects could be prevented.
Yeah, because
and I'm gonna stop it right there because he said it. You got parents, moms, dads, somebody's brother, somebody's sister putting on a uniform to go into neighborhoods and pull out the people that aren't supposed to be there. Chicago, the people that are there in those neighborhoods are because your mayor allowed that to happen and continues to allow it to happen. Who is paying him? Tell me, who's paying him? Who has paid this mayor where he believes that this is a good idea? Because it's not affecting the people who have money in the suburbs of Chicago as much as it is affecting the black people who don't have any money in the hoods and the ghettos of Chicago. Illegal immigration doesn't affect the people with money and means and in better neighborhoods as much as it affects the people who do not have means, that live in poor, impoverished neighborhoods. Illegal immigration says to them that we don't care. It tells them, and it's telling you, whether you agree with it or not, we don't care about your property value. We don't care about the safety of your children. We will put you next to people that aren't supposed to be here. And it's not that they're illegal, but it's the fact that we've never done a background check on them also. And we have no idea what they're capable of and what they've done. We haven't background checked them. We did stop them, but we told them to come back for a hearing. And we never enforced when they didn't show. There are great people, good people becoming citizens of this country that came here legally, and they did it the right way. They're not standing up and watching these people walk out of the federal buildings with their citizenship, naturalization paperwork in their hands. They're not doing that. Because if they did that, it would show that you have a ton of people becoming naturalized citizens who care and love the country, who understand it's not a perfect country, but we do understand where we came from. This is better than where we came from. I'm passionate about it because my family came here. We came here legally. I had to study to become a citizen of this country. They had to pay in order for them to go ahead and stay, become a citizen, and go through the whole process. It took time, it took years, but we got it done. By the grace of God, we got it done. And don't put God in it and say, don't you think God wants them to have the same thing? I believe God wants them to have the same thing, good and precious things. But don't you tell me that he authorized them to jump over at the border and get here to do it. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that's the way he operates, that's the way he works, and that's what he cares about. You're lying. You're doing a disservice to the people who pay taxes. They'll say, well, you're going to say, well, they pay taxes, so what? You're doing a disservice to the people who deal with who vote people into office. They deal with a lot of issues already in the community. Their parents were slaves here. And I'm going to give you an insight. My parents' parents were slaves here. They left. They went to West Africa, set up the first country established as a democracy in Africa, and then moved back here. Truly, what would you call it? African Americans. And even though I could call myself an African American, I call myself an American because I'm a true African American. First generation. Right off the boat. When I was growing up, they said, you sound like a white boy. But I paid the price and I served the country. And I'll continue to serve. I was actually looking at a volunteer militia. You're like, oh God. In Georgia. To actually falling under the National Guard. I'm not talking about the backwoods. To actually serve again because I enjoyed doing it. My wife said, no, that season's over. And God said it, yeah, too. And I'm going to go where he wants. But at the end of the day, dude, their parents fought for the North to win. Their parents. And then you talk about anyone and everyone can come in and get health insurance and get money. It does not affect middle income America as it affects lower income America. It affects the ghettos, it affects the hood, it affects those places. And then you have people who don't even look like the people who live there showing up attacking ICE. You have people who don't even look like the people who live in these communities. Predominantly African American communities, predominantly Latino communities that people that were born and citizens of this country. Brown. Yeah. When you talk about putting gangbangers from other countries in those communities, and you wonder why they have drive-bys like this. And all you're going to say is, but you forgot that that's an American that non-American, that illegal immigrant tried to kill. Why is this such an issue? Because your politicians tell you it's something you need to get out there and fight for. because you're so moved with compassion for people, and it's great to be moved with compassion for people. Don't get that twisted. Yeah, I believe in we should take care of people. We should be moved with compassion, but shit has to make sense. It has to make sense. It has to make sense. So what you're telling me is when somebody breaks into your house, you will turn around and feed them, let them take your money, and say goodbye. Say, hey, come again. Matter of fact, stay on the sofa. I'm going to work. And when you come back and all your stuff is gone, how would you feel? Tell me that. You leave a comment. You tell me. How would you feel? How would you feel they walked in and took your shit? How would you feel? I'll be pissed. My grandma's living in South Chicago, and you ninjas who are sitting in office, in the mayor's office, decided that it's okay to now turn around and to allow these people who aren't supposed to be here, who you are really supposed to be working on getting some court date and making sure they stick to it, that they don't disappear, and making it easy for the ones that want to actually show up for court to get a court date, to be there so they can now plead their case for their asylum. Because I'm not a crazy person, and I don't believe I am a little off the wall sometimes with stuff, but but I'm not bona fide crazy. I know that good people come over here escaping financial distress, poverty in their country. I know it's not everybody. Don't get it twisted. But I also know that you got a shitload of them that came here too, and you didn't even do any background checks on them. In Chicago, it's your fault.
Oh no.
Because you put that clown behind mayor in office. And, all I'm going to say is,
Congratulations, well done.
you're screwing up your city for the people who actually pay and care. The people who live there and have lived there for generations, that are American citizens. You're screwing it up for them. You're screwing it up for them. You're telling them they don't matter. You're telling them their property values don't matter. That's what you're telling them. And then you're turning around and taxing them, increasing the tax rate $1 billion. You're looking for $1 billion from your constituents. $1 billion increase. If you do not fire your mayor, if you re-elect him into office, the same mayor that gives the right to the people that don't belong here to actually vote, and I'll say don't belong here, are here illegally to vote. They didn't come here and check in and do the, no. And this is one immigrant talking about the situation, one naturalized American, okay? Put me like that, because I'm not an immigrant, I'm an American. Naturalized. Telling you that what you're doing is you're eroding the fabric of the country because you don't want to take the chance to discuss the topics like habeas corpus. You believe habeas corpus belongs to everyone, that everyone should benefit from habeas corpus even if they got in illegally, whether you call it a misdemeanor or a felony, they still should have the right to it, right? That's what you're saying. No. That's what's reserved for Americans. And because they don't want to talk about it, because they don't want to get down to the gritty of habeas corpus, they extend it to everyone. Nobody wants to redefine it. Nobody wants to put the boundaries on it. Everybody slips in through the crevice. So when you see drive-bys on ICE agents, don't tell me that it's an American doing it. Don't tell me that it's somebody who cares about their country doing it. No, don't tell me that. Because I may not know who specifically was in the car, but one thing I do know is they do not care about the country. They just want what we have. Period. They just want it. And I can understand why. Because when Trump says there's a lot of shithole countries out here, and some of y'all say, oh, how could he say that? Yeah. I've seen it. I know it to be true. There's a lot of countries where they don't care about the people. So the people have to run, they have to flee. They have to go to places like here. And we've been built on as a country that opens its arms to immigrants. But when they come through the border, when they just storm in, when they don't show up for meetings, when they buck shocks at cops in drive-bys, national people who have families in drive-bys, I say something needs to change, something needs to be different, something needs to be rearranged, something needs to be adjusted. You want the cream of the crop. You want the cream of the crop. And he said, Leon, was your family cream? Yes, 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 yes. My father, engineer, working for Sunoco at the time. He got access to the country. He brought value here. He was helping Sunoco build infrastructure. And he's been doing that for the last 25, 30 years. Hey man, this is Real Estate Lunchbox. Yeah, I get passionate about your home value, about your block value, about you being able to sell your house that is not gang infested to the point where you can't get the money that you need to be able to put your house on the market and have somebody buy it. Because people clown behind politicians, think that your property value doesn't matter. And what they don't understand is that it matters. You should be building your wealth just like they build their wealth, Nancy Pelosi. You should have a shot at the American dream just like they got a shot at the American dream, Nancy Pelosi. Hey guys, like, subscribe, follow for more content. Yeah, I see you guys on Wednesday, and man, hopefully we have the government open by that time. Because there's a lot of people right now, good government workers, who want to go to work. They don't care about some of the stuff they just want to put food on the table for their kids. They don't care about some of the crap that they're talking about down there, health care and blah, 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 blah. And y'all want to send the money overseas. It's a lot of good people who work for the government who really should be there, because we do need good people working for the government. And then there's some lousy behind people who lazy as crap, went to school, entitled. They were A students. And so they believe their A student status should direct your money and where it goes, and whether you get paid or not, and how you get paid, and if you get paid. And it sucks. It really does suck, man. It really does suck. Because when you hit 45 days, I'm thinking 60 days. I'm thinking people who got mortgage payments due. I'm thinking people who got to put their kids in through daycare. I'm thinking people who got to put their kids through college. Listen, 2026 will be here in no time. And if this doesn't teach you that you need to create another stream of income, multiple streams of income to get that bag, I don't know what else we got to do. Real Estate Duncan with Leon Duncan. I am Real Estate Lunchbox with Leon Duncan. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.